Hello everyone and welcome to Crystal Cast. This is the Q&A section coming on a Monday this week because, well, there wasn't that much news and merchandise announced in the past week, so I'm going to actually save that section for Friday. Hopefully we will get some more news and merchandise this week. Figuarts Sailor Pluto, please, 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 please. Okay, so this is the Q&A section, but before I start, I want to just very quickly address the copyright stuff that's going on right now. For those of you who don't know, this past week there was a bunch of copyright claims and strikes given to YouTube accounts and stuff like that among Sailor Moon Crystal reactors here on YouTube. Basically, a bunch of us got videos deleted, we got strikes on our accounts, some people actually got their accounts completely deleted. It was just a big mess. So basically, my Act 13 reaction was completely deleted and I got a copyright strike for that, as well as my reaction to my Moon Pride music video. I got a second strike for that. So since this happened, I have deleted every single Sailor Moon reaction video off of my YouTube channel to avoid further strikes and possible deletion of my account. This has just been very stressful and a big mess. So I just wiped everything to try and save my account at this point. You can go to AuroraPeachy.com and to find all of my reaction videos. All of my past reaction videos are now on there for you to watch. I am going to continue to do reaction videos. Don't think I'm going to stop. But they're going to be different. I'm not going to be putting any part of the episode or the music in there. So I'm still kind of have to figure out how I'm going to do that. But so don't think I'm going to stop doing reactions. I am going to still share my emotions and my thoughts with you guys. I have no intention of stop doing that. It's just going to be a little bit different. Okay, so that's what I have to say about that. Let's just move on. I don't want to be a downer, so let's move on to your questions. Thank you everybody who submitted them. I will get to as many as I can. So first, Kenshin Trek asks, how much does your crying in your reaction videos affect you emotionally afterwards? I was so touched when I got this question because it showed true concern for me, and I really appreciate that. Do you have headaches after crying when you watch the episodes, or some kind of sickness? I always have headaches after I cry. How about your mood for the rest of the day? I get tired. It makes me a little exhausted if I cry a lot during the episode, but please don't worry about me. I'm perfectly fine. I've always been an emotional person. I get very emotional with things. I cry very easily at things, whether it be movies or just whatever. You should see the video of when I first got Biscuit. I was crying, and I'm happy when a show or something makes me cry. It makes me feel good. That makes it special for me. It makes it memorable. So I get a little tired, but it's nothing bad. You go on to ask how much of my reactions do I edit in my videos. Sometimes you get the impression that sometimes you tend to edit out your most emotional reactions. I don't. Go back and watch my Act 1 video if you don't believe me. I keep in all of my best reactions. I think when I cry the most, I'm like, yes, I cried. It's going to be a good video. So no, I really don't edit out. I edit out the parts where I am just kind of watching and don't really have a reaction. So thank you, Kenshin. I really, really appreciate you being concerned for me. So thank you for that. Little Miss Sailor Venus, which is the cutest name ever. What are your favorite Sailor Moon arcs? Rank them from your most favorite to your least favorite and explain why. Well, basically, my ranking is this. S, Stars, R, Super S, and Classic. The reason for pretty much all of those, Outer Senshi and dark storylines, dark serious storylines, that's basically the ranking of like how serious and like most serious to least serious in my opinion, as well as most Outer Senshi to least Outer Senshi. Like Outer Senshi are like what are my favorite thing about Sailor Moon. So the more Outer Senshi the better. So S is definitely at the top, and then Stars and going down. So that's basically why. And more characters is always better in my opinion. I love the characters of Sailor Moon. So the later seasons are more likely to be my favorite because they just have more characters in them. So that's why. Rick Ohm asks, how do you feel about Sailor Saturn not getting a full transformation and lip rod or transformation pen? Do you think she'll be getting one in the Crystal series? I hope so. This is unclear since the Outer Senshi wands have been released for pre-order, omitting Saturns. That's because they're based on the first season. They're based on the series. They're based on the 90s anime, in which she never had one. This isn't a lot of this merchandise that's being released is based on the 90s anime. It doesn't give like it doesn't have an effect on like, oh, we didn't get a lip rod for Saturn, so she's not going to. She's not going to have a transformation in Crystal. That has nothing to do with it. It's based off the 90s anime right now. I hope we start getting Crystal merchandise soon. Do you think she doesn't get the full Senshi treatment due to her overly destructive powers? I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think it just has to do with the fact that just how she's introduced in the storyline and how she's a part of the story didn't lend her to getting a transformation, because we didn't even see, spoilers, we didn't even really see Sailor Saturn in the flesh until the very, very end of S. And then we saw her very sparingly in Stars. So there was no... That's why she didn't have a transformation and stuff. Like, she wasn't there enough to get a transformation. Sadly. It's sad and I hate it. And I wish she would have gotten that. But that's just how it went. Benjamin Turin, I am considering watching the musicals, but I have no idea if I should watch each stage in order or just dive in and watch what I can. Do you have any kind of guide or suggestions about watching the musicals? I get this question a lot because the order of the musicals, when they were released, what order you should watch them in is very confusing. Basically, when it started in like 93, it went through, they did like classic R, S, Super S, and Stars. And then they had Kaguya Island, which was like its own like exclusive to Mew storyline. Then they have the Last Dracul and Transylvania no Mori arc, which was basically Sailor Moon versus vampires. So it's like they had that arc. It's like they had their own little stories. And then they started doing it all over again. Then they went R, S, I think they skipped Super S, and then they went to Stars. So it's kind of like they did it once. They had their own couple arcs. They did it again, and now they're and then they had a hiatus, and now they're starting it all over again with La Reconquista and Petite Estrangere. So it's a little confusing. If you go to my website, SailorMewAntics.net, there is a list, I think in the info section, there is a list of every single musical in order. So if you want to watch them in order, you can follow that. Otherwise, I say, if you like musicals and you like that kind of thing, you like stage performances, and you like Sailor Moon, obviously, then sure, you can go ahead and watch it from the beginning, keeping in mind that it was in like the early 90s, so it's going to be a little more rough than like the most recent ones that were like done in the 2000s. If you just want to try out, if you want to try out Mew, you're not quite sure if you're going to like it or not, or you just want to like watch one to be exposed to it, I would say start with whatever season is your favorite. If Sailor Stars is your favorite, go and watch one of the Sailor Stars musicals. If you want an original storyline to start out, then go watch a Kaguya Island. Actually, Shindetsensu Korin is one that started the second stage, and then or you could watch the Dracula arc. The only ones that you really have to watch in order are the Dracula ones, because those ones have a progressing story. Last Dracul Jokyoku is first, and then Transylvania no Mori and its revision, and then Last Dracul Saishu Sho. Those are really the only ones that have a story that progresses. Otherwise, you can pretty much watch them in any order. So I'm sorry if that was kind of confusing. I have so much Mew info in my head that when I start talking about it, I just start spewing information. So if you're still a little confused, feel free to ask again or ask for some clarification. And I will be more than happy. I'm more than happy to help anybody understand the musicals, because I was beyond obsessed with them for a while, and I mean, still am, but I know a lot of information, and I know there's not a lot of information in English out there, so I'm more than happy to help people understand musicals. Okay, I have time for probably one more question. I have time for BJ Wanland. Has 2 questions. As a male Moonie who was in denial for a great many years about just how good the show was, I still need to repent in some ways. What is the best way for me to start watching Sailor Moon? Should I start watching in order, or is there an agreed upon most important episodes list? If you're talking about the anime, if you want to start with the anime, here's the thing. Sailor Moon, the 90s anime series, has a lot of filler. But as we've learned from watching Sailor Moon Crystal, sometimes that filler is very, very good for character development. And Sailor Moon is so big on the characters. The characters are like what makes the show. So I would suggest, it depends on how you like to watch anime. If you don't mind things going really slow and having a lot of character development and really learning about these characters, and you don't mind a monster of the day type thing, which is basically the entire series of Sailor Moon is, not the entire series, but then yes, watch every episode. Start from the very beginning and watch. If you kind of want it to go a little faster, there probably is a most important episodes list, something like episodes where something actually happens, the story actually progresses, because like I said, there is a lot of filler, but that filler is character development. So there probably is something like that out there. I don't know off the top of my head where you can find something like that. But basically, when a new character shows up, or when a villain dies, or a new villain shows up, it's very obvious from the episode title when those things happen, so that should help guide you if you just want to watch the most important episodes, but definitely watch in order. If you start in like the middle of the series, it's not going to make any sense. So yeah, if you're talking about where should you start as far as the entire franchise, start with what you like. If you like manga, read that. If you like anime, watch the old anime. If you like live action, then watch Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the live action series. So that's up to you. Second question is, while I do now both have the Viz Set 1 box set, thanks to today, thanks to TJ, the Untold Story of Sailor Moon ebook, are there any other good recommendations for must-have Moonie gear, figures notwithstanding? If you're new to Sailor Moon, you must understand that Sailor Moon, one of the things it thrives on is its merchandise. There is so much Sailor Moon merchandise out there, it is pretty much impossible to collect it all. Even if you chose one thing like figures, there's so many figures and so many statues and stuff. Like in one category, there's so much stuff that it is insane. So I just say pick and choose what you like. I can't say for you what's must-have Moonie gear. Like for me, I love the role-play toys. I love figures. Now I love I collect the program books from the musicals. There's so much stuff out there. It really just depends on what you like. So pick what you like and research that. Go on eBay and see what kind of merchandise there is related to what you like. And just get what you like. There really isn't a must-have thing. I mean, except maybe the original manga. It'd be really cool. So yeah, I can't really help you there. It's up to you. It's your preference. Okay, that is all of the time I have for questions this episode. I'm sorry if I didn't get through too many, but they were kind of involved. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on Wednesday for the fan art section, and then on Friday for news and merch. Even if there's not much news and merch news, I will still make an episode, so watch out for that. And continue to submit your questions. I have a lot more questions that I have on backlog that I haven't had time to get to, so don't worry if you haven't heard yours. I still have a lot more to get through. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time on Crystal Cast. Alright, bye!